Welcome to the Chaos Commanders podcast. I'm Annie, aka Commander A, military wife, mom of two, and seasoned in navigating deployments, juggling schedules, and life's unpredictable missions.
And I'm Katelynn, aka Commander K, solo mom to a busy, neurodivergent teenage boy, business owner, and skilled chaos wrangler.
We're here for the moms who do it all, the sideline CEOs, the late night warriors, the women leading in their homes, businesses, and beyond.
If you've ever felt like you're running a tactical operation just to get through the day, this is the place for you. We're bringing raw, unfiltered conversations, honest insights, and tangible strategies to help you command the chaos like the Wonder Woman you are.
So grab your coffee, wine, or whatever keeps you going, because we're diving in.
Welcome back to the Chaos Commanders. This week, we are going to talk about the secret weapon that can help you meal plan, schedule, brainstorm, and parent with a little more sanity. We're talking about ChatGPT. And in order to pick our song for this episode, we were like, what song is going to go with ChatGPT? Well, why don't we just use ChatGPT to pick the song, right? So it gave us some options, and we decided to go with The Power by Snap, because when you've got ChatGPT at your fingertips, you've got all the power, right?
Right. I mean, according to you, yes.
It just works. Annie would not know.
Because I'm a dinosaur.
Yes, and we'll get to that in a minute.
All right. What's my recipe? Katelynn, what are we making?
Recipe. Well, last week I talked about all those bananas that I had lying around. So I thought it would only be appropriate that this week I share my grandmother's fantastic banana bread recipe.
Ooh.
So that will be on the blog and linked in the show notes.
Perfect. Yeah, we won't necessarily have a link, like a HTML for it, right? Because it's grandma's recipe. So
yep.
Make sure you head over to our website, thechaoscommanders.com, and that's where you can find that one.
Yes, absolutely. How about yours? What is your recipe?
We are really enjoying what Joel calls cheese pillows. It's called Instant Pot Lasagna Ravioli.
Ooh.
By 365daysofcrockpot.com. I subscribe to their daily emails. Sometimes we get a couple a day, but I love my Instant Pot, and this is just super yummy. So we'll have it linked in the show notes.
Yep.
But it's a nice, hearty, probably not a summery meal because it's definitely warm, but it's really good.
Yeah, it sounds good. I love it. And it's quick. So,
It's quick.
It's still perfect for summer.
And low maintenance for cleanup.
Okay, amazing.
What's our Katelynn currently?
Okay, so I was browsing the socials as we do late at night, and I saw a lady talking about how she was doing like a 60 or 90 day whole life glow up.
Ooh.
Another lady called it like a rebrand, like a personal rebrand.
Okay.
So either way you want to phrase it. And I thought, you know what? I want to do the same thing. She was like, there are so many aspects of my life that I'm, unhappy with, or not necessarily unhappy with, but just want to see it change. I totally identified with that. And I thought, you know what? I want to do the same thing. And so, what a great thing to use ChatGPT for, right?
Ah, there it is.
And I think those ladies used ChatGPT for theirs as well. And so I thought, I'm going to use ChatGPT and put in all the things that I kind of want to address and have it help me come up with this plan.
I love it. That's fantastic. My Annie update has nothing to do with ChatGPT because I am a dinosaur and I've not used ChatGPT. But we are going to circle back around to Marco Polo because my friend Lindsay, Marco Polo Lindsay, informed me not so long ago that Marco Polo has a family plan and you can add up to 6 people on that family plan. So it's $120 for a year.
Yep.
And if you get 6 people, it's $20 per person per year. And you can have all the things. Like you can have the transcription, you can have the notes, you can have the fast forward, you can all the things. So I got my 6.
Yep.
And we are rocking and rolling with it. And I love it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're all in a group together. We could be if we wanted to. But I think everybody that's using it is just really having a great time with it. I know my friend Kathy, our friend Kathy, is starting to use it with her family members, and they live in state, but they live far enough away that it makes it really fun for her to get to see them on a daily basis, as we talked about. So
Yay.
We will relink the Marco Polo and we'll put the family plan in there. But if you have 6 people that would want to join in, holy moly, like, thank you, Lindsay, for sharing that little nugget of information, because we're using it.
Yeah. Yep. It's perfect. I'm so excited to use it more. I guess one of the things that I should add to my update is that my friend Casey and I have been using it.
Yay!
Because that was one of the things that we talked about in one of our earlier episodes, was that I was accepting the challenge to use Marco Polo more. And my friend Casey and I have been using it, not a ton, but we have been using it. And I love that she has found creative ways. She does not love putting her face on there, which is fine. I still get to hear her voice and see things that she's doing. And so a lot of times she'll just like use the camera and show me things around her that she's doing. So yeah, it's been interesting to see the way that she feels comfortable using it, but we can still stay connected.
Sure.
So
I know I made you use it while you were sick because I needed sign of life. And
yes.
You're like, my face looks terrible, so I'm going to block it out and you can just see my eyes.
Yes, I did.
That's okay. You're still doing it.
We still got to chat.
For sure.
Yep.
All right. Teach me all the things that are ChatGPT.
Yes. So I am so excited to talk to you about this because we discovered through conversation that Annie has not used ChatGPT. And I discovered it through work. So I work in marketing, and there was definitely some concern that ChatGPT would replace jobs in the creative space, in writing and things like that. And it definitely is not, right? Like, you still need a human aspect to things.
Sure.
But it is a fantastic tool. And I work at a marketing agency. I'm a content manager, and we're encouraged to use it within reason, right? Like, we still want to have the human aspect to things, but it is great for idea generation. For sure. It is great if you need to rewrite something or you need it to sound a little bit different. And so that is how I discovered ChatGPT, right? But then once you discover it, you're like, oh, but I could use it for this and I could use it for that. And like, there is no reason that moms should not be using this to lighten their mental load, right? The mental load is the thing that we all struggle with. We all complain about.
Yep.
It's the thing that makes us different than dads, right?
Right.
We have the mental load. We are burned out. We have all these things going on in our brains that the dads just typically don't have. I'm sure there are dads that do. Single dads, different things like that. But for the most part, the moms carry all of that. And we get decision fatigue. I know you have mentioned that before.
Oh, all the time. I don't want to make a single decision when by the end of the day, I don't want to make a decision.
Exactly. And I remember one day we were trying to figure out dinner or something, and you're like, Andre, just you decide. I am done deciding things for the day. Yes. Which just made me laugh because I'm like, I get it, right?
So you're telling me we could have gone onto ChatGPT and said, hey, figure out what's for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
In certain scenarios, yes. So like, that is why when you're like, I don't use it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Annie. Like,
it feels very invasion of privacy because, I mean, from what I understand, it remembers things, right?
Right.
So I feel like I have an alien robot remembering my life, possibly remembering things I don't even remember.
Yeah, but like, it's what you tell it, right? Like,
okay.
you can use it within your own boundaries. Some people use it as their therapist. I would not recommend doing that. So you determine what you want to tell it. And so what I want to talk about today is how we can use it to command our chaos, right? Like, how we can use this as a tool to help us alleviate some of the stress that we're under as moms, how to help us command our chaos better, how to help us just with some of the things that bog us down, stress us out, all of that. So yeah, we're going to talk about it. Maybe I'll convert you to a ChatGPT user.
I mean, you've bitten a lot for all of these different challenges I've thrown out there. So maybe it's my turn to bite.
I love it. Okay, so first let's touch on some use cases for me. So like how I might use ChatGPT. I am cooking for a house of 2. And so meal planning for 2 people, not the most fun, right?
Right.
So you can say, ChatGPT, I'm cooking for 1 adult and 1 child, or I'm just cooking for 2 people. Can you give me a list of recipes? You can ask it to give you a list of recipes that you can make with XYZ ingredients. Like last week when I was sick, right?
Right.
If I was like, I cannot leave the house and I've got like some stuff at the house, but I'm like, I don't know what I can make with these 5 things. Put your ingredients in there and be like, what could I possibly make with this? And it will give you some ideas. One thing that I have used it for is writing polite but firm emails to school or family.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that one.
Especially this past year when we have struggled so much with school, having to write an email that's difficult to a teacher or to a school administrator. Sometimes you want to just write what you're feeling to get it out. And then you say, okay, ChatGPT, now rewrite this in a polite but firm way without losing the message in my email.
Okay.
And it will rewrite it for you and it will get your point across without all of your emotion behind it, right? Which is amazing. You can brainstorm activities for your kids. So whether it be for summertime, like we were just talking about last week,
yeah,
or if it's because you have a neurodivergent teenager and you're dealing with issues with them, or you are going to be taking a road trip and you want to know how to entertain your kids in the car, like anything like that, you can ask it to help with that.
Didn't you tell me that you had ChatGPT write a letter for Katelynn about when he was accepted to his school?
Yes.
That was so cool. Okay, yes, I remember reading that and I was like, she's brilliant.
Yeah. I was like, I want to write him a poem, and I kind of had part of the poem done, but I needed some help with the rest of it. And I was like, I'm trying to write my son this poem that he was accepted to his school. Can you help me finish this poem? And yeah, it helped with the rest of it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And yeah, it's a good memory for him. He brings it up sometimes. So.
I love it.
And then, so with work, so like when we're creating our podcast show notes and working on our content.
She says we, like I do it. It's all her. She does the ChatGPT part of that. I can't even say it right.
You'll get there. You're going to be like, oh, I ChatGPT this and I ChatGPT that. Eventually, it's going to happen. But yeah, when we're working on that, so like I wrote our show notes several times, and then I was able to say, okay, like here is how I write the show notes. Now what I do is I put the transcript of our podcast into ChatGPT and I say, based on the show notes that I've written in the past, can you write our show notes?
And it is brilliant. I've seen her do it, and it takes all of about 30 seconds for it to pull all of that together, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It saves so much time.
It does. It's really helpful because all of this stuff takes a lot of time.
It does.
So,
yep. And we do it from the heart and without a paycheck for it.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So it helps you do more of the things that you love and, follow your passion projects, whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it just really helps with efficiencies. Another thing kind of along the lines of writing the emails, but scripting text for hard conversations and boundary setting.
Ooh.
So if you need to have a hard conversation with a loved one or boundary setting. So for example, with my kiddo and his scooter, we had a lot of problems.
Oh, the scooter.
Darn scooter. So I needed to come up with a contract for, like, hey, if you're going to have this scooter and these freedoms, you're going to have to follow these rules. But like in the old days, I would have to sit there and be like, what are my rules going to be? How is this going to be worded? How am I going to format it? Now I can just say, I have a teenager who is not following my rules. I need a contract. I know what the general rules are, but I don't have to be super detailed about it. And I can just be like, here's the rules I want him to follow. Can you please put together a contract with a signature line for both of us and put it into a Word document that I can print out? And in 5 seconds, it'll be ready.
Challenge accepted. We're in the process of getting the kids scooters, electric scooters. So yes, I will accept it. I'm going to bite.
You're going to
challenge
bite.
Accepted.
Perfect. Okay, so because the next thing that we're going to talk about is ways that Annie could use ChatGPT.
Here we go. I've heard you can use it for writing cover letters.
Yes. So one of the ways that you can use it, I've done this before with cover letters, is you can take your resume and you can put your resume in there, and you can take the job that you are applying for and you can put that job description in there, and that way it knows you from your resume and it knows the job you're applying for. And then you can say, please write a cover letter from me based on this job. And you can write a custom cover letter for each job you're applying for through ChatGPT.
Wow.
And then obviously, you edit it.
Sure.
And the other thing is that if it spits out something that you're like, that sounds like AI, then you can just say, this sounds too much like AI. Please write it in a more human way. And it will rewrite it. No, seriously, you can. Okay. And you can give it instructions. So you can say, I want it to sound, funny. Like, I want you to have more of a sense of humor when you write this. I want you to be very professional. So you give it instructions, which is really helpful.
Okay.
But so ways that I would see Annie using ChatGPT is creating family workout plans or daily movement challenges.
Ooh, yes.
Okay. Creating chore charts with incentives.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, because we're talking about my type A lady over here. Coming up with easy dinner ideas based on macros.
Yes.
Writing thoughtful Amazon gift messages to herself.
Oh, I love doing that. I love writing messages to myself for Amazon.
And morning journal prompts to share with her kids.
Yes.
So journaling back and forth with your kiddos. So those are definitely some ways that I would see that you could use it, but there's 1,000 more, right? Okay. So how can our listeners start using it? So I definitely have a list of some categories, but I want to give just some easy prompts that you can try today just to play around with it. You just Google ChatGPT. You can go to it and start using it. You can create a free account. You don't have to get the paid version. I have never had the paid version until just recently.
What's the difference between paying for it and not paying for it?
So when you don't pay for it, there's different versions, and you can only use certain versions so many times throughout the day.
Okay.
And so it'll tell you you've used this version too much today. Now you have to wait till 2 a.m. to ask another question.
You can't be too needy on the free version.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
So then once you pay, then you can use it as much as you want. Okay. So again, I've never used the paid version until recently, and that's just because I've been using it so much more with work and with the podcast and all of that. So go get the free version. And go try a couple of things. So here's some prompts that you can try. So give me 5 ideas for indoor activities for a 7-year-old and it could be ADHD, it could be a 7-year-old who likes ... right? But just give it some kind of context about your kiddo. You could say, create a meal plan with 3 ingredients, rice, beans, and chicken, and see what it comes up with. Ooh. And it might tell you, of course, it might give you some other things like tomato sauce or whatever, but those might be the 3 main ingredients that you're going to use. And then it'll give you some different recipes. Another one would be, help me respond kindly to a friend who keeps canceling plans.
Ooh.
And then give me 10 self-care ideas I can do in under 10 minutes. We all need self-care, right? And if you want tips for getting better responses, just be specific and give context. Okay. So the more context that you give, the better answers you're going to get out of it. And then just have boundaries with it, right? It's a tool. It's not your therapist.
Right.
There are AI therapist tools, but that's your choice if you want to use them or not. Okay, so then there are 15 categories that I want to run through really quickly that I think listeners, moms, can use to help command the chaos. So the first one is meal planning. You can do quick dinners, budget-friendly grocery lists, allergy-safe snacks for picky eaters. It can just help you plan, prep, and just breathe a little bit when it comes to your meal planning.
Sure.
And I know you love meal planning.
I think the worst part about being an adult is figuring out what dinner is every single night.
Exactly. And the thing is that you could ask it to help you with meal planning for a week. You could ask it for the month. You could ask it to help you with meal planning for the whole summer.
Wow.
Like whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Because I'm a week girl.
Yes.
I have the menu for the week.
Yes.
And that menu is pretty much in stone.
Yes, exactly. You can also ask it to help you with morning and evening routines. So have it create a personalized routine that actually fits your kind of chaos, right? And your kids' chaos. Because we can see routines that are recommended, whether you're an Instagram or TikTok person. I know we all see other people suggesting routines all the time. But that is a routine that fits their life. Right. And does it really fit your life? But with ChatGPT, you can tell it a little bit about your life and then have it come up with a routine that actually fits you. So I think that's really helpful. Scripting the hard conversations, we've already touched on that. But whether it is co-parenting, so for my single parents out there, if it's that you need help with co-parenting boundaries, a school meeting, telling your kid no without guilt, it can just really help you word it with strength and clarity. And sometimes you just need to see how to say something to feel more confident delivering the message.
Sure.
So I think it really can help in that way. Creating visual schedules. So if you need help structuring a neurodivergent kid's day or keeping your own life straight, just ask for a printable friendly layout and you'll be able to print whatever schedule you need. So whether you are homeschooling and you need a homeschooling schedule, if it's, summer schedule for your kids, if you're trying to do some time blocking for your work life, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, you can get printable friendly schedules.
Wow.
Self-care planning. So helping you carve out pockets of peace, recommendations for books, playlists, mindfulness apps, or just 10-minute little joy breaks, right?
Hey, ChatGPT, you got any Shadow Daddy book recommendations?
You can totally ask it that. You can even say, these are my 5 favorite books that I've read in the last year. Can you create me a list of book recommendations based on that?
Oh, boy.
Yes. It's amazing. I just love it so much. Okay, so then we've already kind of talked about it, but school email drafts and teacher notes. Do you need an IEP update? Do you need an absence excuse? Are you trying not to sound too much like that mom?
Yeah.
Just get it polished and professional with ChatGPT. Number 7 is mental health check-in prompts. Do you need journaling ideas, coping strategies, affirmations that don't feel too cheesy? Just ask ChatGPT. They will have your back. Number 8 is business or side hustle support. So if you're running a VA business, an Etsy shop, if you need a content strategy, ChatGPT can help you with marketing copy, pricing your packages, and even email templates to communicate with your clients. So you can get all of that set up in there. And number 9 is crafting the perfect text or leaving one on read. If you need help responding to a toxic family member or crafting a boundary that sticks, that is another way that it can help you. Number 10 is kids' activity ideas that are not screen time. So if it's a raining day or if you have an overstimulated toddler, you can find sensory play ideas, DIY crafts, and ninja level distraction hacks.
That would be clutch for summertime, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Number 11 is the personalized book recommendations, like we were just talking about. So if you want something cozy and comforting or fierce and feminist, whatever it is, they can match your vibe.
I love it.
And number 12, fitness or wellness goals. So from realistic workout plans to sleep hacks, build your wellness habits and micro-mom friendly steps. 13 is creative ways to stay connected. So ideas for long-distance friendship traditions, Marco Polo prompt games.
Ooh, and this is a big one for the military people who are listening.
Yep, absolutely. So just different ways that you can check in when life gets loud.
For sure.
I think that is amazing. I thought you would love the Marco Polo one.
I do. Because, I love it so much.
Absolutely.
But I think that is definitely, man, I didn't even think about asking ChatGPT, like, hey, my spouse is halfway across the world. Like, what's something we could talk about that's not, I miss you and this situation totally sucks.
Yeah.
Because I know that the soldiers get tired of hearing that. Mine did.
Yes. I mean, and thinking about just like connecting as husband and wife in those situations, right? You could be like, give me 25 fun questions that a couple who's been together for 15 years could ask each other.
Yes.
Right?
Well, so Andre and I actually pay for an app called Paired.
Yeah.
Where that's basically what it is. Every day you get a question and then we go back and forth answering it. But what a great way to not have to pay for an app like that and to just tuck those little nuggets in your back pocket and throw them out there randomly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, I like that one.
Fun.
I mean, I like them all, but that one definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then almost done. So 14 is pep talks on demand. So if you're having a bad day, mom guilt, or chaos spiral, you can tell them what's going on. I know this sounds like therapy, but just, be cautious about what you're sharing because it does remember things and it is AI. If you're just cautious with what you're giving it, then you can have it give you a little bit of a pep talk or just like, if you're struggling sometimes with like a decision, right?
Decision fatigue.
Yeah, the decision fatigue. Like, I'm not sure how to handle this situation, right? Then you can ask it for that. So kind of like mild therapy. I just, I wouldn't give it a whole lot of personal information in that regard. But I do think that it's really good for if it's just a bad day. If it's just like, hey, this happened, I'm not sure, especially like if it has to do with a friend canceled plans on me again and I want to bring it up to them, but I don't know how to say that. Like, that's not a lot of personal information. Right. And so then that's where it could say like, well, the next time you talk to them, you could say blah, blah, blah. Right. And it'll give you some advice. And then the last one is a fun one, birthday party planning on a budget, things like that. It could be travel planning, any type of planning that you have to do.
Planning a hike.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes. So theme ideas. So this is obviously talking about a birthday party, but theme ideas, timeline planning. If you're creating your own invitations, you can have it do the copy. So like the words that are going to be on the invitations, game suggestions, all in one place, minus the Pinterest stress.
We're going to have a retirement coming up soon. So
exactly.
Oh boy, I've got lots of things that...
Yes.
Where have I been all of my life?
Where have you been? I know. So yeah, I just was shocked that you had not used it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can use it for so many things that it can lighten your load a little bit.
Yes.
So I hope this has given some ideas on how moms can use it just as a support tool. It is not cheating parenthood.
Right. So, nobody wins a prize for the most chaos.
Exactly. And I just think that, moms deserve shortcuts. And I think that it is a great tool to help command the chaos. And yeah, I think that it's normal to utilize any tool that can help you parent better, because when you're under less stress, when you can be more efficient in the things that are not as fun to have to do, then you can be more fun for your kids, right?
For sure.
So it's just an awesome tool. And sometimes commanding the chaos means outsourcing the mental load, and we get to outsource other things. You can hire someone to clean your house and, do all of those things, mow your lawn. So why can't you outsource some of this mental load stuff that we have to carry?
For sure.
Outsource it to ChatGPT, and then head over to our Instagram and let us know how you're using ChatGPT, if you use it, or if you're like Annie and you haven't used it yet. Then let us know if you're going to accept the challenge like she is, and then try it out. Let us know if you liked any of these tips, and let us know if you try something and if it works for you.
Yeah, for sure. On Facebook and Instagram, please come over. I know some people prefer one over the other, but please come over and let us know how you're using it, or if you used it for the first time, what you did with it, or what recommendations you have for me to try it out on, because challenge accepted. We're going to go buck wild with ChatGPT.
We're going to have fun with it. And I'm sure there are ways to use it that I haven't even thought of. So I'm excited to see if our listeners have other ideas that, that we can try too. So that is it for this week. Have fun. ChatGPT. All right, Chaos Crew, that's a wrap for today. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow commanders.
Don't forget, we're all in this together. Join the conversation in our Chaos Commanders community on Instagram and Facebook, where we keep it real, raw, and ridiculously fun.
Remember, our fears establish the limits of our lives, so go push past them.
And always leave others better than you found them.